last week we talked all about the Freedom Riders and how the federal government had to step in rural places like Birmingham, Alabama, where the state was not enforcing integration. This week we're beginning chapter 3, Securing the Vote. So right now I want you to go ahead and make a prediction about what you think this chapter is probably going to be about. I'm going to go ahead and make the prediction that I think that this chapter is probably going to focus a lot on policies that kept African Americans from voting equally. Today we're reading from pages 32, the beginning of our chapter, to 36. To gain support for Kennedy's efforts to pass civil rights laws, the SCLC and several other organizations put together a massive march. On August 28, 1963, nearly 250,000 people from all across America gathered at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. At what is known as the March on Washington, King gave his famous "I Have a Dream" speech. The civil rights movement was not fully unified. The SNCC's John Lewis was forced to edit comments in his speech that were critical of the Kennedy administration for being so slow to take action on civil rights. CORE's James Farmer was in jail in Louisiana and could not participate in the march. Page 34, Troubles. At the very top of my page, I'm taking note to notice this text feature that looks like a pile of rubble. I also see a firefighter here in the corner, and it says 4 children were killed in the Birmingham church bombing. So last week we read a lot about how Freedom Riders were victims to the violence in Birmingham, but we haven't yet talked about the other ways that the African American community suffered during the civil rights movement by segregationists. On Sunday, September 15th, a bomb was thrown into the 16th Avenue Baptist Church in Birmingham. The church had been a center for civil rights activities. Children were attending Sunday school classes when the bomb exploded. 4 young African American girls were killed in the blast. The bombing was only one of many cases of the continued violence committed by the Ku Klux Klan and other white supremacists to halt the civil rights movement. 2 months after the church bombing, President Kennedy was assassinated. Vice President Lyndon Johnson became president. As a native Southerner, many people feared, and some hoped, that he would work against civil rights. Over the next few years, however, Johnson showed he was a forceful and effective supporter of the civil rights movement.